Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Wow, I just sat through all that. That was, disappointing. Is anyone else disappointed? WWDC. Firstly, video's going well. I got a bit done. This new computer is friggin' amazing, awesome. Wow, what a difference it makes. I cut stuff just ridiculously in half. I think yesterday's another day, another vlog. When I did the render for that, I think it was like 15 minutes. It took less than a minute to render out, which is just ridiculous. It's minimum 5 minutes, anywhere 5 to 10 minutes just for audio. For the podcast side, so it was just insane how quick it is on that side. So that, in essence, was just insane. But then when I was playing with the video, dropping stuff in and moving stuff around last night on the timeline in Premiere Pro, it was just ridiculously smooth, in full playback. I used to live in quarter. I'm now just running everything at full, and I can just move, chop, change, and bounce around, and just seamless. Ridiculous. Wow, it's going to make a big difference if I get a chance to get some work done. So looking forward to that and what it can do for me over the next 4 or 5 years at least. At least 5 years I got to get out of it to get the value back. So super stoked about that, and very, very cool. Rightio, I'm not going to talk too much more about that at the moment. The video's come along. Hopefully, I'll fly back to work tomorrow. I can start sort of sitting down and concentrating and getting some stuff done on that. So it shouldn't be too far away, and then I can start smashing out a few of these others. So that's all going okay, I guess. Hasn't been 100% consistent. My apologies, but unfortunately, life's not that consistent at the moment for myself. But, right, WWDC, there was talks on what it was going to do, what was going to be released, and blah, 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 and pretty much nothing released. It was just all software. Zero hardware. The only hardware that was announced was obviously the new ARM chips, or the Apple Silicon, they called it. They didn't call them ARM chips. I don't know why. Basically Apple Silicon from the end of this year. So we're looking at, I guess, the usual September releases, whatever's that going to be, because they haven't had one release this year. So that's going to really put pressure on them by the end of the year to release a crap ton of stuff. It's going to just be, I guess, one big massive release drop for computers, laptops, and the works, unless they're not going to be doing anything. Very, very weird. So I will go through, I'll quickly scan through the stuff I did take note of. It's basically all around ISO 14 coming out. We know about that. Home screen on that. You'll be able to have an Apple library to organise your apps. That didn't really mean too much to me. Depending on how you work, I guess your phones, I folderise everything, and mine's all... My OCD kicks in, and mine is all fully exactly where it is in folder, and I only ever had one screen. I never run two screens. If I have to go to two screens, I just go and delete stuff I haven't used in 6 months. That's my rule. If you haven't used it in 6 months, it's either gets sold or gone or got. I did that a long time ago, and it was the best thing ever in my life. So I guess some people have apps, have them all open, and then have 50 pages and then you just scroll through 50 apps just to find one app, which I personally don't see the sense of. But if you do organise your stuff that way, this app library will let you basically bring up the app library, search through the app library, search for the app you're looking for. It'll also group apps into certain folders, which is what you can already do now. So I didn't think it was that awesome. It's pretty much exactly how I run it now. And I know exactly where everything is. So I'm not sure. But anyway, that was there. So that was the Apple library. You can now add widgets to the home screen. So if you do use widgets like weather, time, or whatever else, you can add one of those in different sizes onto your home screen to do that. So that's in there. You can do smart stack and basically adjust your home screen to fit whatever you want. So there is some good positives in there in that regards to what you can do. It's going to allow us pick and pick videos, so if you're watching a video or a YouTube or whatever, you can then bring that video out and then go into Mail app or Message app. If you get a message, you want to go check that, it'll still play the video, or you go on to check the other thing and then you come back to you in video. So that was pretty good. I thought that was quite handy. The Siri translator is going to be obviously expanded a lot. They're doing a lot on that regards. It's going to be offline. You'll be able to have offline conversations using your phone. So if you're traveling overseas or just having dramas, whatever reason, and you need a translator, you'll be able to basically pull your phone out, speak into it. It will recognize a majority of languages, and then they'll basically turn it straight into a speech, and you can do it. So you won't even have to pick their language. It's that good. So that's what they're saying. So that was pretty cool. I did see there was a new thing coming out, I think on Kickstarter or something, where it's basically like earpods that automatically translate and offline, online. So there are a few things coming out in the translator world. So this is a good one to have that's already on your phone. In the messages, there'll be pinned conversations, so you can have groups. If you're in a constant group conversation on your messages, you can pin emojis or people and their emojis into that one group. You can then have a main group emoji that will then display above your standard messages, so you can go backwards forward into that group. You can see who's answered last and stuff like that. And so there's some good things in that regards. There's more emojis and more stickers coming out. That's pretty cool. I do use it. A lot of people don't that I know of, but it all depends, I guess, what you do. Maps, over on the map side for ISO 14, there's going to be a lot more in regards to bikes. So if you're into bikes and you want bike routes, which generally don't come up, there's going to be a lot more in that regards, and that's also going to work with your Mac or your watchOS as well. So that was pretty cool. It also will, in the maps, have EV routing, so it'll get you to one supercharger to the next Tesla supercharger and all the electric vehicles coming. Obviously, you need to know, it'll know what car you've got, and it'll get you to the appropriate one and give you a map of how to get there and which route to take, so you don't run out of electricity, which is pretty darn good. Also, digital keys. We did hear the rumor about that. That's pretty much locked in. The new 2021, but it's 2020. The Americans doing a little bit different, where they have the 21 car coming out in 2020, which is strange. But the new BMW is the first to uptake that. So basically, you can take your phone up to the car, you can start it, or you can start it away from the car. You basically put it up near the door handle, it'll open it. You put your phone in the dash, and it'll let you start the engine and everything. You can also send a set of digital keys via message to your friend or family, so they can borrow the car, and it'll do stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. That will backdate into ISO 13 as well, so it's also fairly well. You can now there's another thing coming out called App Clip, which will basically similar to Apple, uses Apple Pay. But if you go to pay for something and you don't have that app, this will basically pick it up straight away and get you to where you need to be just to pay for something. So that was pretty cool. Uses an NFC and QR reader, and a new app clip code which will start flowing out. So another code you sort of need to use. But it looked pretty handy in the regards you don't have to have the full app open to be able to pay that service or that wherever you are. You can just get a quick version to get in and out. So that was pretty cool. iPad is the iPad Scribble that's coming out. That's on the iPad OS. The Scribble looked pretty good. A lot more stuff in regards to handwriting and bits and pieces like that. Also, switching between devices as well. You'll be able to bounce between each one on the iPods. So you'll be able to, if you're on the phone, you'll be able to go jump over. As soon as you change over, it'll automatically change and then do that. I'm not sure how it's going to pick up when you actually want to still listen to your music and work on that. So that could be a little bit annoying as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sure. I know with my Bluetooth currently, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. So we'll see how we go. The iPad Pro iPad Pro headphones, not iPad, iPod Pro headphones will have spatial audio coming into them. It's basically full surround sound, and it'll move with you, and it'll adjust using your G-forces and stuff like that. It'll also adjust for one ear and all those sorts of things. So it's going to be looks pretty good. It's only on the Pro level headphones at the moment, but I'm sure that'll expand down the track in the next year or so. But didn't look too bad in regards to that. WatchOS will share more customization. You'll be able to have even more on your face. You'll be able to pick up different pieces and basically make it your own face up. So a lot more in that regards. And as I said before, bike maps will also work with that as well. So that'll be good if you're on a pushy. You can just see without having to get your phone out of the backpack. So that's quite handy in regards to the watch. It might be something actually useful for a watch app, because most of them are pretty much a waste of time. Apple TV picture-in-picture on your Apple TV, so you'll be able to have your movie still watching and go and check out some other stuff or whatever. You might have to go and check a message or an email if you've got it all configured that way. So depending on what you're doing, you'll be able to definitely have picture-in-picture there. So that sounded pretty handy. There's a new show coming out on Apple TV Plus, which is based on Isaac Asimov's novels. He's obviously a legend in the sci-fi realms in books. Foundation, that's coming out in 2021, so that's actually probably going to be a really good show to check out. So be aware of that one coming out on the TV binge watch list, I think, for the next year. Now, Mac OS, and that was the big thing. They got OS on everything. It used to be just iOS and then Mac OS. Now they've done what they did to friggin' iTunes and split it all up. So it better not be as bad as the iTunes split up, because that was terrible. And that was the big sell, basically, was we've split all it up and renamed it different OSs, which I don't really see the reasoning for, but apparently it's now become bigger and they need to define it and make it specific. But yet it's all going to meld together with the new silicon, because the new ARM chips and stuff. So Mac OS, Big Sur is the new one. We obviously had Catalina, so now Big Sur is the new one. New map app, Safari's heaps more security involved in there. It'll monitor your passwords too, so see if anyone's tried to attack your passwords in regards to that. You can customize your start page. There's going to be a lot more in regards to having widgets and stuff like that on your start page. Translators added to Safari, so you can basically come up, and if it reads any languages that are outside your normal setup on your Mac, it'll automatically come up into your internet Safari browser, so you can translate the page. So that was pretty cool. Some good stuff in there. Macs will run iPhone and iPad apps natively, so you'll be able to get all them on there. So if you've got games and stuff you use on your iPhone, you'll be able to actually go play them on your iMac, and vice versa. Any sort of apps you have used that you just normally couldn't use, well, now you can bring all them over to your Mac, so it's pretty cool. And then basically just the new silicon, and that silicon will allow them, the ARM chips will basically allow them to all the different OSs to run together and mix and drop and change and move, and it's going to make it a lot easier for developers. I think was the big key out of this one. Developers will be able to basically make a program or an app, and then it will be just really easy for them just to spread it amongst watch, phone, iPad, Mac systems, and it'll work smoothly and efficiently. And I think that was the big thing, and I think that's probably a good thing for developers. They have to spend a lot of money, a lot of time to redevelop different apps for different hardware, to make it sort of simple to just give it one thing, and then that covers like 5 or 6 different things. There's probably going to be a huge cost saving, so that hopefully will flow back to the consumers, and it should make things a little bit better too. So that will be pretty darn cool. Obviously, there'll be a lot to see how the Macs go with the ARM chips and what they can do. Obviously, they said it's all going to be fantastic. It's going to be better, more powerful, and all that sort of stuff. I guess until we see something released with it, which they're saying will be end of this year, will be the first computers with it, or first hardware. And unfortunately, nothing at all was released. Not one item. No phones, no talk of phones, no talk of iPads, no talk of anything. No, very, very weird. We've thought about we might get the 14-inch MacBook. That didn't happen. We pretty much got smoked, I think. There would, and I was probably one of them. I thought we were going to actually get something, some good news, something to cheer us up, a bit of positive stuff, and nothing. So yeah, very disappointing. Basically, it was just a big software release. So yes, all I have left to bank on in early July is Canon to come out with a heap of hardware and fun stuff to play with. Because software, unless you actually use that software, it's pretty much who cares. So yeah, and there's going to be probably 90% of users out there that go, well, okay, yeah, I'm happy with what I got anyway, so it works. I'm not going to be just upgrading just for a new chip. That'll be 3 or 4 or 5 years down the track. So especially me, I've just got a computer. So yeah, it was interesting. Obviously, with what's happening with the COVID, it was a hard thing to push and to release anything, but to not release any hardware whatsoever is going to put a lot of pressure on them for the second half of the year. September, October, I guess now, where everyone's going to just have to wait, and it's going to just be a massive rumour mill after rumour mill, just snowball effect of what's coming, what's not coming for the next 3 to 6 months. At least if they had announced stuff today, it might have trimmed out a bit of all the bullshit. It looks like we're going to be having a crap ton more for the next 3 to 4 months, at least 4 or 5 months possibly. So yeah, other than that, I don't know if you noticed, new little baby. This is now, I've got a new little camera. I'm charging the battery, so I can't really show you too much. But it's the 1DS Mark II. So I went with the DS because it's the higher megapixels, mainly just for photos. So I've only got the one lens at the moment, the 28 to 80, which I was sort of using with the adapted to the M50, but the right price and absolutely smicko nick. It is been very well looked after, not a scratch on it, a little bit of, I guess, sweat staining, that's about it on this side, but yeah, eBay wins again. It's done very well. So something more to play with, more robust for the weather and stuff like that, and I can check out the DSLR side and do some other sort of tests and get some different old lenses and play with them. Anyway, so we'll talk more about that as it goes on and how that one's working out. That's about it. Tomorrow back at work, so it'll be probably a late one tomorrow night by the time I get to yours, but I should be all good and catch up, and we'll talk more about if there's anything else that's come out new in the next 24 hours and see what happens. But yeah, I guess a little bit disappointed today, but what can you do? That's another day. Anyway, I hope you had a good day. I hope you didn't stay up till 1 a.m. to listen to that or to watch it. It probably would have been worse if you had to do that and not see any products come out. But I guess it just means September, October, whenever it's going to be, is going to be an absolute massive release, and means bye-bye Christmas money. Whatever money you had is going to go on Apple products, I guess, for Christmas. So yeah, it should be a big one for them. Anyway, we'll see you all tomorrow and talk some more. Radio, whether you're coming that way, I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.